And apparently, you can't just let someone else just walk through your territory. That makes you look weak or bad or pathetic or something. So if someone tries to even get near your area, even if they have no intention of attacking it, well, you gotta kill them anyway.
That does actually sound like the Ottoman Empire in the Middle East back in the day, and why Columbus was like, hey, let's sail around the globe. Let's see if we can get to India that way.
Don't start complaining.
Not familiar? So,
yeah.
I imagine the dynamics of this is that since obviously Tiger Kai is down, so his faction is going to lose power, so ergo, pretty sure that means Yukimura is going to have to pick a side to choose between Ieyasu and Mitsunari, since he can't really hold up against them by himself, I take it.
Yes, but there's a little more to it than that. Remember, the story started with Ieyasu attacking while the Tiger of Kai was ill, so obviously he can't go with Ieyasu. That's his goal in the end, is to reclaim his honor and dignity. So he's going to side with Mitsunari because it's convenient for the both of them that they both want to kill Ieyasu. This particular instance, though, is just like a funny case because I don't think there are any other examples of. Okay, there is one other example of this concept, but I just like the idea of a boss character having to play through their own stage backwards.
Yeah, that is kind of funny, isn't it?
Because it's like they did this too during Mitsunari's Blue Route, where he had to retake Osaka Castle from Kanbei. But I don't think they do it any other time besides these two. And so this is a really cool concept because it also changes the time of day from like noon to sunset, and the lighting in this stage I think looks really good.
Yeah. Oh,
but
Kojiro, what we could have had if you were in this game that was unplayable.
It's Kojiro was written like an NPC too.
It's a fucking shame too because he's genuinely a really cool character.
Oh no, when he's actually playable, he's a great character.
Yeah, so,
which we'll get to much later on for Utage, but
yeah, I'll just share what I vaguely remember about him off the top of my head. So we did try once long ago to do a full let's play of Utage, and for the most part, I think it went pretty well. The only problem was that for some baffling reason, because back then I'll admit I was overly paranoid about my YouTube channel. I will admit this. The very first part we kept trying to post was just copyrighted city, like for the intro bit with Mitsuhide, I think it was. No, Matsunaga. That was it. So we my idea was let's publish it to Brandon's channel, and I just never got around to editing the second part. I'll admit that it was one of those things where I'm always editing Let's Play episodes for YouTube, so I never got around to it. So as a result, the last 5 hours never saw a live day, but honestly, 720p, yeah, we could have. It was probably better to put that on hold anyway. Anyway, so what I was trying to get at is Kojiro's gameplay is like a really funky stance-based character. He's really weird, and I wish he had a regularly playable version in English, so that way we could understand him better. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he does have a couple of different stances. He also has a beam attack, and he also has a charged instant kill, and it works on bosses if you can actually get it to land. So Kojiro was a very cool, very in-depth character that requires some know-how to get the best out of him. It's funny about the Utage footage you were mentioning, though, because I think they're privated now, but I still have those first 10 parts uploaded, actually. But yeah, it's unfortunate that Kojiro was returned to being an NPC again, because he debuted in Basara 2 Vanilla as an NPC, made a playable character for 2 heroes, and then now he's an NPC again.
Yeah, I think the best way for people to probably experience him at this point in time is, if you want to just go an easy route, is probably actually with Basara X on the PS2, because he's playable in that game. I know that game has a bit of a reputation for being a bit of a wacky fucking fighting game. It's an early Arxis game, so let's leave it at that for right now.
So I've heard.
Yeah. You haven't lived until you've seen Hideyoshi do 0 to death combos like just like that.
Well, that sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's cool, but it's also weird because there was all like that game and the Fist of the North Star fighting PS2 game that was also released for Arc System Works. Like they both just have such long fucking combo strings that just can result in instantly killing an opponent if you know how to jug. It's so fucking wild that to the point that I have seen literally these Fist of the North Star players get worried about getting timed out before they can actually finish their combo and kill their opponent. Not even kidding about that.
What is the time limit in a tournament setting?
There have actually been games. We'll actually kill his character before the time limit runs out with this heavily scaled combo he's currently in. Let's find out.
At fighting game tournaments, what is the time limit?
Usually it's just default, 99 seconds or something like that. Usually whatever the game defaults you to.
Gotcha.
A small problem with Dragon Ball FighterZ is that its default timer is the 5-minute time limit, and 5 minutes is a very fucking long time.
You're definitely going to beat someone before that timer runs out.
Especially when... Yes and no! It's so weird. That game is like, on the one hand, it's very easy to open people up, but on the other hand, for some characters, you're just not doing it. It's so... I have actually seen games in that game go to a draw, or like, go to time. It's just like, this game really is just more like a concept of patience at times. It's like low mid-level DBFC. Yeah, it's very offensive based. High level, it's like, oh god, yeah. Some players have just ironclad defenses. It's ridiculous.
But thinking back on Kojiro though, I do understand why they made him and a bunch of other characters NPCs, and that's because they were really trying to focus on a core story around a handful of characters and some of their supporters, because the grand total number of playable characters is 16, down from 2 heroes 28, I think.
Damn.
And then Utage would come back up to 30 or 31, bringing all the NPCs playable again. But they wanted to focus on a very core story, so there's only like, I want to say 6 returning playable characters, and all of the other characters are brand new for the game. So they wanted to tell a very focused story. So having too many extra characters would have dragged down the pace even more, which is saying a lot because this is a game that takes you at least 200 hours to do everything.
Yeah. God, Masamune even is just anime like fucking Dante, man.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing from the start.
They know what they were doing.
Especially with, all the jokes and costumes and DLC weapons and whatnot.
Yeah, just very on the fucking nose sometimes. I need to ask you if you can eventually get footage of that game where Yukimura is just twin-wielding unleashed Sparta swords. I do want to see that in motion. That would be hilarious.
That's 2 heroes, and yeah, I think it would take a very long time, but I think I could do that.
I mean, is it for PS2 or PS3? Because if it's PS2, that emulator lets you just crack games open so wide.
It's on PS2, but it's also on the HD collection for PS3, which now that I think about it, I've never actually emulated any HD remasters on the PS3. So that sounds like that could be funny.
I think I've tried it once for Budokai 3, and it works pretty damn well. So, some usual compatibility quirks with PS3 emulators inside, though.
Yeah. Also, Yuki, I didn't think to mention this for a very long time, but Yukimura is in his joke costume, which is like a size 0.5 version of the Tiger of Kai's outfit, and I just think it's hilarious.
It's just more like Cub of Kai, yeah. It does look very ridiculous. I'm also gonna say that, yeah, I definitely like the regular outfit way more. I do understand wanting to showcase the alternate outfits because who else would? But just like, man, it's just he's wearing a rug.
Just remember,
Throw rug. Yeah, because well, the thing is, I always go with the alternate costumes most of the time because it's like you're gonna see cutscenes anyways. If pre-rendered the opening or whatnot, they're gonna have them in their default costumes, most likely, especially in thumbnails as well. All of the key art for the games and whatnot. So I want to show off the things you're far less likely to ever actually see.
True. So it looks like Masamune isn't actually interested in Yukimura right now.
Oh no, he wasn't interested in him at all. Again, he was just trying to get through, and Yukimura was like, well, I can't let you just walk through my lands.
Oh yeah, right.
So, Yukimura is still, as he puts it, and I don't remember if they describe it in the red route or in the blue route, but as he puts it, he is lost and he feels like he's drowning. He keeps having dreams where he's deep underwater and can see the surface but can never reach it.
Didn't they visualize that in the movie at some point? I feel like they did.
No, not in the movie. I think they did that in Judge End.
Yeah.
Which was the third season animated by the other studio. They go into... This is a scene that sort of requires... excuse me. That actually requires another scene from Masamune's story to get the full context of, which is something they did adapt for the Judge End. And that's that... Excuse me. Notice coming up. And that's that this was supposed to be happening close to or around the same time as when Yukimura and Mitsunari are meeting to describe the terms of their alliance.
Okay.
So in Masamune's story, he's gonna do this stage, but you're gonna see Mitsunari here, and that's gonna send him flying into a rage.
Yeah.
Love that overlay effect. But yeah, Yukimura is just going through the motions. He's not even focusing on the battles anymore. He's just too distracted.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm not really paying attention to the dialogue, but he's definitely giving off that impression right now. He's just going through the motions at the moment.
One thing I like though is that in the last cutscene when he was talking to Sasuke, he was saying, how does Masamune project that aura of strength and leaderly qualities so well? How can I learn to be like that? And then Sasuke says, because he walks his own path, and that's not something you can learn from anyone else. More to the point, I don't like that guy, so I would really hate to serve under someone that's trying to emulate him.
Yeah.
Sasuke says that flat out to him.
I guess that would add up. Masamune doesn't have his own Tiger of Kai or anything in his own homeland.
That's one of the things that's always kind of stuck out to me about the series that's kind of quirky, is that Yukimura is not the true head of the clan. That's the Tiger of Kai. So he's someone else's subordinate, but his rival has always been the leader of another land, to sort of. So it's sort of been unbalanced, I think, in their standing.
As long as Kanetsugu the Invincible is here, Kawanakajima too will be.
And it's always been sort of awkward, especially when you get the few scenes where Masamune does end up actually fighting the Tiger of Kai directly. It's like he should be fighting him. Yukimura should really be a footnote, if not for the fact that that Masamune finds him so charming.
True, yeah. I need to make it a point of actually going back to rewatch the first season at this point.
Yeah, that's something that, with a fresh perspective, would be a lot of fun, rewatching the whole series.
Yeah. There was this level, the ice level, where that one guy shows up and he tries to pull out his sword, but it's frozen in the sheath.
Yes.
Nice.
Kanetsugu, yeah. This is Kenshin's stage. What Yukimura is doing right now, and I think he does this in the blue route too, is he's looking to the old guard, mentors and masters, and think there's nothing he can learn from them to lead the right way. because it's going to take him a very long time to realize that the people that follow him for him, not for the way anyone else operates.
True.
Because if that was the case, well, they would just go and follow that person instead. But as we've definitely learned over the years, Yukimura is an idiot in the best possible ways. He's naive, so it takes him a very long time to learn things.
I'd use the word naive. He's definitely super young, so like we can't fault him for that whatsoever.
I can't speak to how old he's supposed to be portrayed as, but he definitely has the mentality of like a 16 or a 14-year-old.
Oh, here it is.
I'm the invincible
Yeah, you can see the face. It's definitely super Final Fantasy X NPC level.
Yeah, it's rough to... And they didn't really do all that much enhancements in that regard going into the PS4 games.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Which would make the hopeful eventual PS5 game really funny to see if they're still using PS2 models.
God, that does put the funny idea in the back of your head. Like, if they were to make the jump to the RE engine, which I'm neither for nor against, like, the idea of seeing, like, the really generic, like, NPC faces in that game would be very fucking hilarious if they actually just kept it like this.
Well, if they were to do something like RE, they would have to abandon all of their existing assets and just go from the ground up.
Yeah.
I don't think that would, at that point, I don't think that would be a sequel. I think at that point they would have to do a reboot, which they already sort of did once.
Yeah, with the Yukimura Den game and Resident series.
Yes, but also 4 was a reboot also. With since this game finishes off the history of the Sengoku era with the unification of Japan under Ieyasu.
Also, gonna be honest, I don't see Capcom actually abandoning their assets, because you and I both know they've been using these same fucking assets since probably the late PS2, and they've only really touched up a handful of models, and that's it.
So they have done... So for the characters that matter, they have given them new models game over game from like 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. It's very clear when you actually look at the PS4 games, but all of the other characters, NPCs or otherwise, that aren't core to the story, they're definitely still using upgraded models, upgraded versions of their models from the PS3 and the PS2. That's not something that's hard to see even at a glance.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's why I said that they're definitely like some of them are definitely very improved. Like obviously obviously Yukimura here, like he's definitely been heavily touched up from prior games, like especially like even just 1. But it's definitely, you look at a lot of other assets, like yeah, it is definitely still reminiscent of like some PS2 games. Do I fault Capcom for this? Not inherently. I am never one to really outright criticize companies for just reusing assets if they can get away with it, but it's also just like, man, maybe we should probably rearrange some things if we're like 5 games into reusing the same assets.
New misfortunes arose to play.
Well, do you think Kasuga here looks like a PS2 model?
Well, no, not well. Actually, yeah, she does look like she'd be in a Final Fantasy 12 game without the face movements.
I don't just mean the terribly animated hair. I mean like the whole body.
Give or take.
Because I'll be completely honest, all of the actual, the backgrounds, the landscape, everything that is inanimate definitely looks very much emulated PS2 game, pumped up to 720p.
Yeah, definitely.
I won't deny that in this, at all. It's like they definitely put some nicer looking textures on it, but the actual models themselves don't look that great for the landscape.
Yeah, I look at the ice landscape we're looking at right now, and I just immediately think of like the glacier level from Final Fantasy 12, the one right outside of Mount Baramasis. Actually, what that would be that level, isn't it? Never mind. But yeah, I just get that like same kind of vibe with it, and it's not inherently too bad. But I guess if we are in 2010, maybe we could have updated some things a little bit more to be a little bit sharper. But Capcom's consistency with the series is also kind of spotty, so whatever.
I don't think this matters, really. I'm going to try to make these comparisons less and less as we go on, the keyword being try, but if we're making direct comparisons to the Musou series, I think this game still already looks leagues and above even what Dynasty Warriors 7, which came out the same year, and Samurai Warriors 3, also the same year, look like. Because those games are still absolutely reusing ancient assets.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, looking at, it was the first time it ever became apparent to me, but looking at Dynasty Warriors 8, even on the PS4, it was like the first time I was like, yeah, okay, I'll finally give in to the idea that this actually does still look like a PS2 game, just with better lighting.
Yeah.
You look at the character models, both primary and NPC, and it's like, yeah, these are incredibly rough. These look like they're made of wax.
Yeah, pretty much.
And not only wax, but like the wax has actually started melting.
I think it's safe to say if I was deep into like these kinds of action games during this time period, because at this time I think I was still into like just the fuck was I playing at this time? I don't remember actually, but in this time period I would definitely much rather pick this game up over Dynasty Warriors 7. Honestly, I probably wouldn't put more than like 50 hours into 7 and then just move on to this game permanently, if I'm being real.
Yeah. That also depends on where you are in your life. Are you still at the point in time where you can only get like one game every 3 or 4 months?
That is very true.
And you have to make the most of that game.
And then you become an adult where you can afford like 10 games in the month, but you're a working adult, so you don't have time for any of them.
Oh yeah, dude, I can't tell you. Well, you already know, but I can't tell you the number of games I buy. You either play for like 15 minutes or just don't even play at all. That just end up getting sitting there and rotting away. You
know, I will tell you straight up, this is one of the magical benefits of getting into streaming a lot. It's allowed me to actually open up my backlog heavily, and I can at least say that, hey, I can be a little productive sort of with trying to grow my Twitch platform while I'm giving myself an excuse to tackle the said backlog. So I can't say I'm objecting to that. It definitely allows you to have more hobbies, I guess I'm trying to say.
That's definitely true. You're playing a handful of games right now that you probably still wouldn't have touched for a few more years otherwise.
Xenoverse for sure, yeah. I don't think I would have touched Xenoverse 1 until I was probably like in my mid-30s about to actually let's play it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done it until after you had already finished all of the remaining PS3 games.
Yeah, pretty much. Holy shit, that actually looks really cool with the sheath on. It's literally a giant keyblade.
Yeah, this is one of my... This isn't even the joke weapon, this is just his final proper weapon. This stupid thing is one of my favorites in the game. It's how fucking stupid big it is.
God, I forgot Keiji's weapon is essentially just like half of a giant greatsword. It's so weird looking, but it does actually look really fucking sick with a giant sheath on top of it. Ugh, man.
Yeah, that's what I love about Keiji, though, is that really doing some gameplay story integration by having his Basara attack be him putting the sheath back on, because, you know, he fights for peace. He'll finish a fight if he has to, but he's not going to kill you, he's just going to knock you out.
Yeah.
And Keiji hits pretty hard, too, actually. I think he also has one of the highest attack stats in the game.
I can believe that. With the... I imagine that his gameplay would be a lot more on the, like, the slow, stilted side with the amount of hits you can actually get in, but each one would probably hurt a lot. I imagine one of the ones that probably hits the hardest might be Honda. That's just a guess off the top of my head, though. I know Oda does pack the highest HP stat, but that's about it for what I know offhand.
Yes. Tadakatsu hits very hard as well, but he's also one of the slower characters in the game, so he does a lot of damage, but he's not that terribly fun to play.
Yeah.
Ironically, one of the best parts about him is his fucking fin funnels.
Yeah. You know, I just realized I might have actually gotten the characters wrong. I said Honda. I actually meant the... I'm pretty sure I actually mean the Drill Hands Kyle Hebert character.
Chainsaw Hands.
Chainsaw Hands, yeah.
Yes. Yes, Munashige. Yeah, he also... His attacks are fun and slow and they hit heavy, but again, it's like he hits... he's a little slowed before for it to really get the most fun out of it.
Yeah, true. Also, for the very rare games, you actually do get him playable because holy shit, even playable in Utage?
Yes, he's one of the new debut NPCs for this game. He gets his own story in Utage and in 4.
Oh, so this game was his debut. Okay.
Yeah, this game debuts four NPC new characters that become fully playable in Utage. There's Munashige, there's his boss, the Catholic missionary kid, the guy in the green outfit with the rapier.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more that I can't immediately remember.
The one is essentially that Soul Calibur 5 DLC character, yeah.
Soul Calibur 5 DLC.
I'm talking about the green guy with the rapier you were just talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dom here. God, that character. Two-sentence rant. That character was actually first introduced in Soul Calibur Rogue Destiny, but no one fucking remembers that whatsoever. Also, I've never bothered to buy him nor play him because I don't care. Anyway, that's it.
Soul Calibur has a lot of spin-offs that no one remembers. Just Broken Destiny, Legends.
I've been thinking about that game again recently. I've never actually played Legends. I don't know if you... I'm pretty sure you can play the game with a regular controller. I've been thinking about, like, maybe I should pop it in to fuck around with it. I don't know.
Lost Swords.
Yeah. Oh, God, wait. Fuck. That was the PS3 free-to-play game that lasted, like, a year, maybe.
A year. Yeah.
I tried playing that game. It was still running off a 5's engine. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, 5 is probably the least well-received game in the entire series, even over 4.
Even over 3. Yeah, it did have the first, like, online community because of actual first one to have online ranked, but holy shit. I have played that game online. No, it's, PS3 online delay-based games are kind of bad. Like, it's like the old stories of, like, the Xbox 360 users trying to play fighting games online with Street Fighter 4. It's not great.
Well, with Capcom, it's a bit of a different story, and that's because Capcom hates the 360.
Yeah, basically.
There are multiple instances of Capcom outright abandoning games on the 360, leaving them without their DLC or without any updates or patches.
Ouch.
Fucking Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I don't think ever got any of its patches on 360.
That I can actually believe that because of the fact that there was definitely more emphasis on the PS3 side of things with the exclusive characters over there. You know, Cole McGrath and someone else. Fuck, there was more. I don't remember offhand.
What are you saying?
I think you mean the Vita version with its 5 exclusive characters.
Oh God, Christ on a bike, you're right.
If you lose faith during the battle,
That was a fighting game with touch controls.
It was all Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on Vita had touch controls.
Yeah. So did Street Fighter 4 on 3DS and Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Wii U Edition on Wii U.
I think maybe Tekken Hybrid on the 3DS as well, but I'm not sure about that. I'll have to actually try emulating that later because I've never done that before. We missed Yukimura breaking down. Damn it, Owl.
Yeah, Kenshin is basically saying something to the effect of... Fuck, I actually didn't catch it. Something to the effect of let it out, I think.
Oof.